Hey y'all, I hope y'all are having a wonderful Easter. We are just hanging out. We went to church this morning per usual and got some lunch in us, and yeah, so here's what I've got going on, and I kind of prepped. See, I'm trying, y'all. I really am trying to get myself together in these videos. Yesterday was pretty hard on me after I did the video. I managed to burn my hand because I was using a different rotary cutter. My instinct, mine is a squeeze handle, and then it's got a place where you put your finger down on that covers the blade. Well, I just happened to grab another rotary cutter, and without thinking, I went to put my finger on that blade to cut cross stitch fabric. And at first I didn't feel anything, but then I saw the blood and I was like, oh no, I cut myself. So I was like, uh-oh. It was not good. But anyway, but I did get the fabric. Oh, I didn't. I thought I was going to be prepared today. Look at me. I messed it all up. I'm not going to be prepared. So I did cut all the squares I needed for this. Now, I haven't done the threads on it. Well, basically, because I just haven't. Because it's not something I want. I'm going to start like right this second. So, I did get that. But, okay, some people won't agree with this. And some people don't really care. But while I was at church, while I'm in church, I crochet. And, some people that bothers people, but most of the time, for me, it's helped me focus that nervous energy I have. And so this is my church travel piece. This is the lattice squares. Does it have it on the title? No. They're Victorian lattice squares. And I have a small stash. Oh, don't fall. I need you. Of this yarn that's Hirschner's yarn, and I love Hirschner's yarn. That's like my jam. That's my go-to yarn when I can afford it. But it's a smaller yarn, and I was like, you know what? Here in Texas, we really don't need blankets or comforters or something like that. But I wanted to do something really light and lacy with this yarn. So I have all kinds of different colors. But I'm going to call it a coverlet, I believe is the term, where, you know, you have like a white comforter down, a white down comforter, right? And then you'll put this down below. Like if you have a solid color comforter, this is like the coverlet that's a pretty that sits on top. So I've been working on these. Now this is not all the squares. This is just, I cleaned out my travel church bag and sewed up the ends, and I really think this is going to be so pretty. And like I said, I'm gonna use all the yarn up for this. I may need to leave a skein or two to join, huh? I did not think that. And border, we're gonna be cutting it close because I think I've only got 20 or 21 skeins of this stuff, so I need to look and make sure that I have plenty to join. I join everything with black, and I just want something very summery and airy, so I may do, I don't know. I'm just gonna save what I have in there and figure it out later. But so I got some of these done. I also decided to start put this jacket. Now, this is all granny squares. Hers is cropped, you know, because she's skinny. And skinny girls wear that crop stuff. Mine is going to come down to my knees. I think that's going to be a really good idea. But you haven't seen the schematics on this. It gives you everything you need to make this happen. So, the recommended hook size is like a 4.5, I think. And I can't use that kind of small hook with worsted weight yarn, it'll curl. It'll curl up way too tight, and then I got to sit there and block it and block it. So I used a different hook, and this is what my squares are looking like. This color is going to have another round for join as you go. But I love the colors. They're country colors, and that's what I was hoping for. So, and then I wanted to start a foundation paper piece quilt. But y'all know I am super cheap. Like super cheap. So I printed a paper off at this one is Ray Foundation Paper Piece Block by Jessica Dayon. Anyway, so I printed out one of these papers at the library. And I was like, okay, how can I do this without costing a ton of money? Because when you use the copier at the library, it gets expensive fast. And I was like, how do I do this? And the thought came to me to Google it, see if there was any other cheap wads out there that are doing this, and figure out what they're using. One answer I kept seeing over and over and over again was parchment paper. Not only is it easy to tear, you can see through it. So I made a couple of traces over this using the dollar store cheapo parchment paper. I got 30 square feet for right at 3 something. The cheaper the stuff is, the better, because it tears and it's see-through. It's really see-through. So I started tracing out multiple patterns. I could fit 2 patterns on a sheet. So I just made the lines really dark. It gives you the block and then your 1/4 inch seam allowance around the block. And then you just put it together. So here is the example I made. I kind of got a small boo-boo, but I really think it's going to be dealt with in the seam allowance, I think. But here's the block. It's not, all of them are not going to be matchy-matchy. I just reached for the closest thing to me, started this out. And then the back has the stitch lines. Now, before I put it in the quilt, I tear this off. But I'm not going to tear this off until I'm ready to tear these off. Because I want them to have structure and be able to stack and just be very nice, crisp blocks. So, yeah. Now, somebody else had said that they use phone book pages, but I don't know how that would work because I don't think you can see through the words, can you? I don't know. And then supposedly you can buy giant rolls of newsprint on Amazon. I'm cheap, and that's a great idea, but I don't think that would be a great idea. So, sorry, the neighbors have dogs. But anyway, yeah. Okay, so this week I will be working on my Hade. Now it's going to take all of this fabric. This is the piece for the fabric. It's huge. It's huge. Let me show you my starting book. Okay, for those that are new, that doesn't know what this is, I have not been tracking my journey. Cross stitching, crochet, stuff like that. And I really wanted to, just for the simple fact of how much stuff do I make a year? Because it's overwhelmingly taking over the house. And I want to know how much I'm making. Now, I'm not counting my knitted dishcloths that I've learned to make the last week or two, because those are going to charity stuff. They've already gone somewhere else. I do kind of want to keep a tally of how many I've sent out. I kind of want to, but I'm not ready to. I got to make them first. But So this started January 2024. And these are all my current projects. This is a commission piece that still has to get done. I have to buy yarn for it and finish it. Those that have been with me for any length of time during this, you know how much of a headache and how much stress this brings me. And I want it done, but it's just stressful. Then I have the lattice squares. I have You're My Sunshine blanket done in bobble stitches. I haven't done that one in a hot minute. I've also got this cross stitch piece that I still need to work on. And I have, this is this week's. This is the Haid. Now I got the kind that has absolutely no background. Just the meat and the potatoes and stuff. Because I am not going to do background. Background is all confetti on 100% of these charts, and I'm not in the mood to deal with it. So I cut off the background. Okay? Now some people love backgrounds. They really think it works. But in this one, there's no point in the background. When I could have put it on blue fabric, but I didn't. But this is, I just wanted the meat and potatoes. And with you being in charge of your own design and your own destiny of cross stitch, you can choose what to keep and what to delete, and you can make that pattern really yours. You can't claim it as yours, but you know, you can make it for yourself in the way that you want. You don't have, if it says you have to crochet XYZ, if you only want to crochet the Z, then, crochet cross stitch, then just do that. If you want to cross stitch the whole thing, more power to you. You have freedom in this. You know, that's the great thing about this craft. So here am I at. Usually I'm a top left kind of girl, but this is not a really top left kind of piece. So I counted down to the first cross arm where the arm's coming out. The cross will be here. This is where the arm comes out. Now, the reason I didn't start top down, which would have been a great idea too, I love the left to right thing. So I counted down, because if I started in the first corner with this, there would have been no room for the top piece. You got to remember on stuff like this, and there's not really a way to do a middle start. There's just not. You've got to make sure that wherever you start, the stuff up and over will fit too. So, and I don't see that being an issue, because I've got plenty, you know, to do that with. So I did count. I find that, of course, I don't have it right here. Yes, somewhere I do. Somewhere it was somewhere. Oh yeah, I dropped it. Miss Janice gave this to me, and I love this piece. It is handmade from one of her friends, and it's got a little edge on it. Now it's a stiletto that helps you push your fabric in, but I also find use in it to count your project, because it gets right there in those little holes. Because I only use 14 count fabric, but I counted down and across, and so I love this thing. You see, it's got the little point. It's got a point without being deadly. So that really does help me to count it and recount it, and use your water soluble pins. I don't use friction because those do come back if it gets cold, but I do use the water soluble. The generations of many years ago still use this thing. That's works for them. It's gonna work for me. So anyway, definitely going to work on that this week. So I've got quite a bit on the plate, but it's not all have to do this week. You know what I'm saying? Because the Granny Square cardigan I can't wear till like October, November, if it does get chilly in Texas. The coverlet is my church piece that I just kind of take to church with me, work on it whenever, or if we go on a little trip. it goes with me, you know. So I have stuff that I want to work on, and then the foundation paper piece quilt block I am going to slowly work on too, because I've gone through a lot of my scraps. I'm going to have to get on the eBays and try to find scrap bundles, because sometimes you can buy it by the pound, and I really want to find scrap bundles so that I can work on these blocks and really get to going. So anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope y'all have a wonderful week. I hope that everything goes well, and you know, it's all good. So love you guys. Y'all take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.